everyone, welcome to the second session of Advanced Management Accounting Inventory Management topic. And this topic, we are dedicating it for safety stocks. We're looking at safety stocks question, and I would want us to first of all understand that there are companies that can't afford to run out of stocks. You can imagine, for example, you've become sick today, and then you rush to Kenyatta National Hospital, and perhaps the only thing that you needed to save your life was just a tablet of aspirin. And then when you reach there, you're told that you don't have aspirin in stock. And given that, for example, you could not move from this hospital to another hospital, you end up in this case here perishing. No. For these kind of companies which are offering essential services, it's always important for the chief executive officer, of course, for all those people that report to him, like the procurement people, to ensure that whatsoever, they always have what we call sufficient stocks. One of the ways of ensuring that you have sufficient stocks is to keep what we call buffer stock, safety stock. So safety stock is that level of stock which you're keeping in your stores, which you do not have an intention of consuming. You don't have an intention of consuming safety stocks, ladies and gentlemen. So we have here, like this. So we'll have our profile moving like that. So that we have procured our Q units there. We use them when we reach somewhere here, just before we start eating our safety stock. Ladies and gentlemen, you should be able to get a fresh replenishment, which takes us like that. So I'm defining again that safety stock is that stock level that we maintain in our stores without an intention of consuming. We can only consume safety stock under emergency situations where the demand outstrips what we have, where we have a demand, in this case here, going far beyond the quantity we have stocked there. That's why we can consume safety stock. Lakini, kwetu sisi, we are making an assumption, ladies and gentlemen, that the safety stock will be constant like that throughout the year. Throughout the year, we shall not be able to do what here to consume it. Now, you having understood that, it will be important for us just to be exam-oriented and go to the question that we have there on our screen. So the question on our screen, ladies and gentlemen, the one of ABC Limited, yes, the one of ABC Limited, question number 1. So this question number 1, if you're following us, I would want you to pause and copy that question. You pause your video and then you copy the question first. You pause this video and copy the question. So you're told ABC Limited has determined that its reorder point is 50 units. That reorder point drop of 50 units is so important to us. When there are no safety stocks, its carrying cost is the same as what? Carrying cost is the same as holding cost. That's how you're putting it in your book there. Carrying cost is the same as holding cost. So carrying cost per year is 5. And the stock out cost is 40 per unit a customer misses. So they have given us stock out cost, which is a key requirement whenever it comes to, ladies and gentlemen, whenever it comes to safety stock calculations. That is quite key. We are told there ABC has experienced probability distribution for inventory demand during lead time, which is shown below. So we have number of units, we have probability. Now let's move to the requirement. So required, down there required, they want us to give them the optimal number of orders has been given as 6. So then what is the requirement? What is the optimal level of safety stock? Please underline for me, optimal level of safety stock. And the associated reorder what here? Reorder point. And the associated reorder point. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is quite a very easy question that I should be able to get very fast. So what do I need here straight away? What I need, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call the current rope. So we need here the current rope. We need the current rope. Rope stands for reorder point. The current reorder point, if you look at your screen there, they have given us the current reorder point of 50 units. So please write that. The current rope is 50. The current rope is 50. And then number two, if you could just zoom to my board here, we have what we call the DDLT. The DDLT. So DDLT is demand during lead time. DDLT is demand during the lead time. So the demand during lead time, which I'm able, I hope you copied your question down. I hope you copied your question down. The DDLT, the demand during lead time, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have there as the demand during lead time? The examiner has told us ABC Limited has experienced a probability distribution for inventory. Demand during lead time is as shown below. So I can see DDLT. We have here 30, we have 40, 40, we have 50, we have 60, and then we have 70. And then they have given us the probabilities, associated probabilities. Here we have 0.2, the next one is 0.2, the next one, ladies and gentlemen, is 0.3, the next one is 0.25, 0.25, and then the last one is 0.05. 0.05. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would want you to understand this once and for all, right? This current reorder point is our reorder point which does not have any safety stock. What have I said? The current rope is that rope, our rope, which does not factor in any safety stocks, our current rope. Now, after I take care of these two, then everything is at home. And unfortunately, the current rope happens to be here. 50 happens to be here on this demand during lead time. So then the only thing that I need to do is to come and prepare what we normally call a rope schedule. So please write there with us a rope schedule. So for this rope schedule, what I will do, I will come and mention here my rope. I will come and mention there my rope. And remember, this rope, we can only begin from our mark here. We can only begin from the current. So the current reorder point is 50. You leave some space, good space. So we have here 50. The next rope, ladies and gentlemen, is 60, 60, and then we have what we call 70. What I like telling my students whenever it comes to this rope schedule, we always think of the Christianity rule: forward ever, backward never. So once I start from the current, I can only pick the higher values. I can only pick the higher values, not the backward figures. Now, ladies and gentlemen, once you give me this, the next thing that I will come and think about is what we call the stock out. The stock out cost per annum. The stock out cost per annum. The stock out cost per annum. So remember, stock out cost arises whenever the demand that we have exceeds the supply. So this rope is also known as the supply, what you're supplying. So I'll be asking myself, what if questions? What if I supply just 50? If I supply just 50, what are those probabilities of ourselves, chances of ourselves running out of what your stocks? If we decide to supply these 50, we can only run out of our stocks with this concept of forward ever. We can only run out of stocks here if we have a demand of 60. If we have a demand of 60 and we have put forward 50 units only, then 10 consumers will be able to go home without buying things from us. We shall turn them away. So we'll be missing out on 10 clients. So in this case here we have, I'm trying to look at the stock counter. So we have here 10, and then of course I can see the possibility. The probability of this is 0.25. There is also another possibility of us running out of stock. moving with this forward ever. If they come 70, I can see 20 people being dissatisfied. If they come 70, I'll be able to turn. So 70 minus 50 is 20. So I'll be able to turn 20 times, of course, this corresponding probability is 0.05. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here you have to be very careful. Whatever you have given us here is the stock out quantity expected, because you have multiplied with probability, expected stock out quantity per cycle. And we're going to have as many cycles as the number of orders that we have in a year. So for you to get the annual stock out cost, you must always come and multiply these parameters here with the number of orders. If you look at the question there, underneath the requirement, they have given us an optimal number of orders. The optimal number of orders, they have told us, is 6. 6 is the optimal number of orders. So we have here 6. And then the other parameter, now these are units. You need to come and change them to money. So how do we change this to money, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, I'll be able to change this to money quite easily because they have given me the cost of a customer missing a stock item. The cost of a stock out, they have told us, cost of a stock out, ladies and gentlemen, they gave us up there, and the stock out cost is 40 per unit a customer misses. So we'll have to come and multiply this with 40, this other one here with 40. And then you get your calculator. Before I get my calculator, I can even go to the second what if analysis. What if now I decide to supply 60? What are those events of us disappointing the customers? So events of us disappointing customers, if you were to supply 60 forward ever, I can only disappoint customers if they come more than what you have supplied. So if they come 70, then I'll be able to turn 10, because if we supply 60 and they come 70, we'll be able to turn away 10. So 10 times 0.05. 10 times 0.05 because of the probability. Right? Because if we decide to supply 60, my good students, we can only turn away. We can only run out of stock and turn away customers if the demand outstrips, if the demand is more than the supply. And that only happens in one situation when demand is 70 and we had stocked 60. So it will be the difference, 70 and 60 is 10 times the probability of this event occurring. And remember, this is stock out cost per cycle, which we have to come and multiply with the number of orders in a year, don't forget that bit, times the stock out cost per unit equals. Ladies and gentlemen, if we decide to stock 70 exactly here, then we will realize very fast that there is no possibility of us ever disappointing anybody. So the stock out cost will be what? It will be 0. So ladies and gentlemen, what I need to do is to come and now determine these figures using my calculator. So using my calculator on here, it will be 10 times 0.25 times 6 times 40, which gives us 600. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we have 20 times 0.05 times 6 times 40, which gives us 240. And if that is the case, then our total stock out cost, will be 600 plus 240, which gives us 840. Come here, we have 10 times 0.05 times 6 times 40, you get here 120. So here there is nothing really to be combined there. Our total stock out cost will be 120. Here, of course, our total stock out cost will be 0 because there is no stock out cost. Now, ladies and gentlemen, after I get that, now I'll come straight away. We create another column here for the holding cost. So we have the holding cost of safety stock. So come and give us the holding cost of safety stock. So we have here, you're writing holding cost of safety stock. Holding cost of safety stock. How do we get our safety stocks? Remember, by definition, we said that our current drop is that drop which does not have any safety stock. It is also known as the consumption during lead time. It's also known as the consumption during what year? Lead time. It's also known as the consumption during lead time. The consumption during lead time. So if I supply 50 and I know for sure that 50 will be consumed during this lead time, then I'll not be having any quantity up for safety stock. But what if I supply 60, knowing very well that the consumption during lead time will be 50? So it means that there are some 10 units here that I'm hiding for myself to utilize during any future emergency situations. So in short, to get safety stock units, always work with this as your benchmark, the 50 as your benchmark. So to get safety stock, you'll be taking like this 50 benchmark minus 50. From there, we have the second will be 60 minus the benchmark, which is 50, 10. 10. From there, we have 70 minus the benchmark. Value of reference there is 50. So 70 minus 50, that gives us 20, my good students. Times. These are the safety stock units. Now I need to look for the holding cost. Has this examiner given us the holding cost? Do we have the holding cost? Yes, they have told us carrying cost. The carrying cost per unit per year is 5. So we have here times 5. Times 5. Please always be quite careful with the holding cost. At times they'll tell you that the holding cost is for 1 month. So if it's for 1 month, you need to multiply it with 12. So come straight away and give us the answers. This is 0. This will give us 50. 20 times 5, this will give us what here? 100. So ladies and gentlemen, having gotten that, now you need to come and create a column and look for total what here? Total cost. Look for total cost. Look for total cost. So total cost, how we get in total cost? It is total or stock out cost plus the holding cost. So like 840 plus 0, that gives us 800 and what here? 40. 840. And then we have 120 plus 50. 120 plus 50, that will give us 170. And then lastly, we have 0 plus 100, giving us 100. So from there, you do your total cost observation. And of course, work with the supply level that has got the lowest what here? Cost. So among the three, the very lowest cost is this 100. And I look at 840, 170, 100. So if it is 100, then I've got everything to do with this row. This is the optimal row, this one. So if the examiner asks us about the optimal cost, the best cost is 100. If he wants us to write here the optimal, if he wants us to write optimal row, optimal reorder point. So the optimal reorder point comes from this particular row, which in this case here happens to be 70. And then of course he'll ask about the optimal safety stock. So the optimal safety stock, ladies and gentlemen, in this particular case, optimal safety stock, what do we have? Safety stocks are here, 0, 10, 20. So the stock units, optimal safety stock here will be the one in this particular row where optimality exists. So in this case here, the optimal safety stock here will be what somebody here will be 20, like that, 20 units. Will be 20 units. I hope this helps. Let us look at a past paper question so that we can crown this particular word here, this particular, so that we can crown this particular exercise. We look at, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at your screen there, you'll be able to see a very important question from November 2017. November 2017. November 2017. November 2017. Question number 5, boy. November 2017. Question number 5, boy. November 2017. November 2017. Question number 5, boy. So November 2017, question number 5, boy. What is it talking about? It's talking about Trans Limited. Trans Limited. So please don't fail to purchase our revision kits. I'm so sure they will help you. So November 2017, question number 5, boy. Trans Limited supplies a product branded BBG. Although the annual demand for BBG is high, it varies considerably. the demand during lead time and the associated probabilities as follows. Please underline there the demand during lead time. So they have given me what we normally call the DDLT. They have given me the DDLT. They have given me the DDLT. So they have given me the DDLT. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with the DDLT, what do we have there? DDLT, the demand during what here? Lead time. So the demand during lead time, they have given me the figures. We have 600, we have 600, we have 650, we have, ladies and gentlemen, 700, and then we have 750, 800, 850, 850. We have 900, 950, 950, 950, 1,000. I hope you'll be able to see me down there. 1050. Devin, are you able to see me on your phone there? 1050, 1100 lastly. You okay? Thank you very much. How about the probabilities? So come and give me the associated probabilities. The associated probabilities, we have 0.25, we have 0.23, we have 0.12, we have 0.1, we have 0.08, 0.08, we have 0.05, 0.05, we have 0.05 again, 0.05 again, we have 0.04, 0.04, we have 0.03, 0.03, then we have 0.03 again, 0.03 again. Lastly, we have 0.02. Thank you very much. So please continue reading the additional information. Additional information, my admin, if you can take me to that question. Additional information. Additional information. Trans Limited places 5 orders annually. That is quite key in terms of getting the total stock out cost. When getting the total stock out cost, we must always use number of orders in a year. So Trans Limited places 5 orders annually. And then number 2, the ordering cost per order amounts to 6,000. That is key to us. The estimated stock out cost is 5,000 per unit. The reorder point is 850. They have given us the current rope. The current rope is here. They have given us the current rope. They have given us the current rope, which is 800 and what here? 50. And then they're giving us lead time is 12 working days. That is noise for now. That is noise for now. So from there, ladies and gentlemen, what we need to do is to come and straight away do for us what we call a rope schedule. Very important. So a rope schedule has to be very, very spacious. Rope schedule has to be very spacious. So remember, we start from the current rope moving forward. Forward ever, backward never, just like in salivation. So you're starting with 850. Especially the first ones, please give them big space. So 850. The second one here will be 900. Give them big space. We have 950. So as I go down, I can now reduce on my spaces. We have 1,000. We have 1050. And then we have the last one, which is 1,100, like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, after that, this is the current row. Thank you very much. So after that, we think about the stock out cost. So think about the stock out cost. Think about the stock out cost. So we have here the stock out cost. So the stock out cost, annual stock out cost. First of all, I would want you to give me the possible stock out units very fast. I'll be able to get this very, very fast. The possible stock out units. The possible stock out units, my good students, if you look at this very well, if I supply 850, remember this is our supply. So if we supply 850 here, now watch on the DDLT. DDLT stands for demand during lead time. So if I decide to supply 850, what are those situations that you're able to see where I will be able to turn away clients? Remember, you can only turn away clients, ladies and gentlemen, whenever demand exceeds what you have supplied. So if you supply only 850, I can see if they come 900, I'll be able to turn away how many? They're different. I'll be able to turn away 50. So here I'm turning away 50. 50. With what probability? I can see the probability here. The probability of these coming on board is 0.05. If they come 950, I will turn away the difference. I'll turn away 100. With what probability? Somebody here with this probability of 0.04. If they come 1,000, I will turn away, ladies and gentlemen, 150 times the probability of this, which is 0.03. If they come, ladies and gentlemen, 1050, if they come 1050 from this, remember we have supplied 850. So what if? Because we don't know how many will come. Here I'll be able to disappoint 200 times this probability, 0.03. If they come, ladies and gentlemen, 1100, I'll be able to disappoint 250 times that probability of carrying, like that. Go to this other supply point. What if we supply 900? The first one here is 50. If they come 950, I'll disappoint 50. Ladies and gentlemen, if I supply 900 today and they come 1,000, I will disappoint 100. So please don't forget to use the probability. This is 0.04. This one here. And then for the 1,000 is 0.03. Don't forget to do that because we want to get an expected value. We're not so sure. If they come here 1050, I will be able, ladies and gentlemen, here to disappoint 150 times the probability of that happening is 0.03. Then we have got 200 times 0. What here? Somebody 200 times 200. We're here 950. We had the 50. That's okay. Then we had the 100. So we have the 150, and then now lastly we have 1100 minus 900, giving us 200 times 0.02. Come and replicate the same procedure here. What if now we are supplying 950? If you're supplying 950, then if they come 1,000, we shall be able to disappoint 50 only. 50 with what probability? 0.03. If they come, ladies and gentlemen, 1050, I will disappoint 100 times what probability? 0.03. If they come 1100, I'll be able to disappoint 150 times probability of that occurring is 0.02. Moving on well. I'm almost completing. If we supply 1,000 here, I can only disappoint 50 if they come 1050. Remember, just like I've told you, it's forward ever, backward never. This elevation principle, always keep on moving forward. So if they come here, then I'll be able to disappoint 50 times 0.03. If they come 1100, I'll be able to disappoint 100 times 0.02. What if I stock 1050? If I stock 1050, there is only one possibility of us disappointing some customers. That is if they come 1100, we shall disappoint 50 times 0.02 like that. If they stock 1100, there is no possibility of us ever having demand which exceeds 1100. So ladies and gentlemen, having gotten these expected units, remember these are just cyclical, one cycle. So I need to annualize these. How do we annualize these? Come and multiply everything with the number of orders. With the number of orders. Multiply everything with the number of orders. How many orders do we have? If you look at this particular question, which my admin, Ebo admin, has been able to pop there, under additional information, note number 1, you will see Trans Limited places 5 orders annually. So times 5 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 times 5. The other thing that you need always to remember, whenever it comes to stock out cost, ladies and gentlemen, you need to remember that stock out cost, you must multiply this with what here? You must always multiply this with the stock out cost with the stock out cost per unit. So in this particular question, if you look at number 4, they have given us the estimated stock out cost, which is 5,000 per unit. So we have here times 5,000, times 5,000, times 5,000, times 5,000. They look a little bit lengthy, But this approach is very good, very easy. 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. So come and give us our figures. Give us our figures, and that is it. Give us figures. Give us figures, and that is it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have our figures here. So, 50 times 0.05 times 5 times 5,000. This will give us 62,500. 62,500. And then we have 100 times 0.04 plus, not plus, but times 5 times 5,000, which will end up giving me 100,000. Second one. The third one will be 150 times 0.03 times 5 times 5,000, which will end up giving us 112,500. Or the third one, 200 times 0.03 times 5 times 5,000, which will end up giving us 150,000. 150,000. Then we have 250 times 0.02 times 5 times 5,000. Ladies and gentlemen, this will end up giving us 125,000. 125,000. Then we have 50 times 0.04. 50 times 0.04 times 5 times 5,000, which gives us 50,000. Ladies and gentlemen, come here, give us 100. Looks a bit tedious, but very enjoyable. 100 times 0.03 times 5 times 5,000, which will end up giving us 75,000, my good students. Go to the next one. This will be 150 times 0.03 times 5 times 5,000. That will end up giving us 112,500. Then lastly, we have 200 times 0.02 times 5 times 5,000, which will end up giving us 100,000. 100,000. From there, we have 50 times 0.03 times 25,000. I know this is 25,000, which will end up giving us 37,500. We go to the next one, 100 times 0.03 times 25,000, which will give us 75,000. Go to the next one. We have 150 times 0.02 times 5 times 5,000, which gives us 75,000 again. Let me repeat again. 150 times 0.02 times 25,000. I'm being told it's 75,000. Just for avoidance of any doubts, let me repeat the one on top. 100 times 0.03 times 25,000. Yes, I'm getting 75,000 again. So come down here, we have 50 times 0.03. 50 times 0.03 times 25,000. What figures are we getting here? We're getting 37,500. Then we have 100 times 0.02. 100 times 0.02 times 25,000. This gives us 50,000. This gives us 50,000. From there, we have the last one, which is 50 times 0.02 times 25,000, which will give us 25,000 exactly. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you need to do is to come and give us the total stock out cost. So using your different color pen here, give us the total stock out cost, TSC. Total stock out cost, what do we have there? We have 62,500. 62,500 plus 100,000 plus 112,500 plus 150,000 plus 125,000, which gives us 550,000, 550,000. From there, you come to the second one, ladies and gentlemen. The second one, we have 50,000 here, plus 75,000 there, plus 112,500, plus 100,000, which will end up giving us 300. The total stock out cost here will be 337,500. And then we have 37,500 plus 75,000 plus 75,000 again, which gives us total stock out cost of 187,500. 187,500. So 37,500 plus 50,000. That will give us a TSC of 87,500. Lastly, we have, of course, this 25,000. The other one is 0. After finishing that, ladies and gentlemen, now you will come and give us the last column. We are almost there. We are almost finishing. Give us the last column. The last column will be about our safety stocks. The last column will be about our safety stocks, especially in the form of what here? Holding costs. Holding cost. Holding cost. So how do we get our safety stocks, ladies and gentlemen? We say safety stocks are those stocks we will keep over and above the current drop. The current drop is our consumption during lead time. So like now here we'll talk of 850 minus the benchmark, which is 850. The first one is 0. The second one will be 900 minus 850. So here I'm putting a buffer stock of 50. 950 minus 850. Here I'm putting a buffer stock of 100. Then we have 1,000. 1,000 minus 850. I'm putting a buffer of 150 there. We have 1050 minus 850. We have 200 there. And then lastly, I can see I'm putting up quite a lot here, 250, the last one. So the question is, have they given us the holding cost per unit per annum? Yes. Look at that question. Look at that question. You'll be able to see note number 3, where they have given us, note number 3, the carrying cost amounts to 1,000 per unit. The carrying cost amounts to 1,000 per unit. Carrying cost is the same as what here? Holding cost. Carrying cost is the same as holding cost. So this will be 0. This will be 50,000. Here it will be 100,000. Here we have 150,000. Then here we have 200,000. The last one you have to be quite keen to see it. It's quite low. So we have the last one. The total cost for the last one. The total holding cost for the last one will be 250,000. So ladies and gentlemen, after that, now you need to come and give us the last column for us to cram up everything. You need to come and give us what we call the total cost. So how do we get total cost? We normally take the TSC, the total stock out cost, plus the holding cost. So like now the first drop, which will be 550,000 plus 0, which gives us 550,000. I like this. The second one will be 337,500 plus 50,000. So take your calculator. We have 337,500 plus 50,000, which ends up giving us 387,500. So this is 387,500. From there we have 187,500 plus 100,000, giving us 287,500. From there we have 87,500 plus 150,000, my good students, giving us 237,500. From there we have the last one, which is 0, plus these two. We have another one here, 25,000 plus 200,000, which gives us 225,000. And then now the last one is 0 plus this 250, which basically will give us 250,000. Ladies and gentlemen, and this now is our climax. They want us to advise them on the basis of the inventory cost, which happens to be minimal. So if you look at the total cost, inventory cost, which is minimal, is this 225,000. And everything about this now becomes good. Everything about this becomes good. Everything about this becomes good. Such that if they want us to give them the total, or rather the optimal ROP, optimal ROP will come from this. So optimal ROP is 1050. Please write there. Optimal ROP is 1050. 1050. And then number 2, if they want us to give them optimal, you're writing there, optimal safety stock, the optimal safety stock will come now from this, which is what here? 200. The optimal safety stock is 200. So I want to imagine that that has been very good, but please, as you do this, you also need to buy our revision kits. For the online students who are doing our live classes, our revision kits go for 1,000 shillings. And then once you purchase these, we shall be able to give you access to 3 live classes. 3 live classes which will not pay for. Otherwise, thank you very much. Please also keep on bringing more students on the table. Keep on bringing more students on the table. We want to have a very huge CPA, ATD community, RCM community. Thank you very much.